Are we going to see any kind of big collapse coming anytime soon here in the real estate market here in the MatSu Valley? Well, my name's Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams here in South Central Alaska, and my mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching you in real estate. And today we're going to be taking a look at what's going on in the MatSu Valley, looking at the residential, the condo, and the multifamily market, just to make sure you have a good idea for what's happening here in the market so you understand kind of the variables and the dynamics that are at play. Before we get started though, do make sure you get this video liked if you haven't done so already. Do make sure you subscribe, and without further ado, let's go and jump into today's market update. Now, the first thing we're seeing on the residential side is the amount of inventory we have available has actually gone up pretty significantly compared to the year before. Now, this time last year, there's about 340 homes available on the market, and now we're seeing about 440 homes available on the market. So that's a pretty sizable jump there. And before anyone gets too excited or says like the market's about to crash, let's calm down, okay? So really the inventory that we saw even just 3-4 years ago was about 820 homes available on the market. So we're barely halfway to where we were years ago. So at this point, I'm happy to just see an incremental increase for the inventory available across the board. Now, the next thing we always want to check out on the residential side is what's going on in the number of properties that have actually sold. So this time last year, we saw about 219 homes that actually sold. This year, it's about 260. So we're starting to see an increase for the number of properties that are going onto the market, and seeing an increase for the number of properties that have actually sold. Now, the next thing that we're seeing is the average sold price for residential homes in the MatSu Valley has drastically gone up. This time last year, the average sold price was about $347,000. This year, it's right around $388,000, which means that we're sitting at just over an 11% increase for the average sold price. Just to give you some perspective, just a couple of years ago, back in 2020, the average sold price was about $301,000. So average sold price in the MatSu Valley is drastically going up pretty quickly here. The year before that, the average sold price increase was actually about 15%. So we're starting to see a bit of a slowdown at the rate at which it's increasing, but a double-digit increase from the year before in the average sold price is still pretty aggressive, even on the residential side. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what's going on in the condo market. So condos, talked about this many times before, not really the big hopping thing that everybody really wants in the MatSu Valley, just because that's not really the reason people move to the MatSu Valley is to go live in a condo. They usually go out there for more space, more freedom to do with whatever they want with their property, but condos still play a role in this market and providing you an idea for what's going on in the ecosystem. So the number of condos available, this time last year, I believe it was 4, now it's 5. Not a huge shift either way. Now the next thing we're seeing is the number of condos that actually sold went from 7 this time last year to 5 this time this year. So 2-unit difference, not a whole lot going on there. Now, the next thing we see is the average sold price has gone up pretty significantly for condos in the MatSu Valley. Went from about $190 the year before to about $230 this past month, which is about a 20% increase, which for all asset classes, really for the entire state, in all areas, I think that's the most aggressive. I think this probably has more to do with the fact that the condos in the MatSu Valley are probably more new construction. So we're always going to see a higher premium price for those. But still, congrats if you're tracking the condo market in the MatSu Valley. That's seeing a pretty drastic increase in the average sold price. All right, let's go and take a break real quick here. For those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you do know that I host a podcast called the Alaskan Journey Podcast. Link for that is going to be in the description section down below. But really what I do in that podcast and in that format is I really interview people who have recently moved up here or have lived up here for an extended period of time and really talk with them about what it's like living up here in Alaska. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of pull the veil back and see what it's like actually living up here from people who aren't just me. So, you're getting it not just for me. So do make sure you go check that out, and let's go and talk about what's going on in the multifamily market now. This time last year, we saw 20 multifamily properties that were available. Now it's 25. So seeing a bit of an increase there. Really, we're more interested in the trend of the amount of inventory starting to go up. So that's healthy. It's kind of following the trend of the residential side, just not as drastically. Now, what we're seeing for the number of sold multifamilies is the number of multifamilies that have sold maintained the same, as it went from 15 the year before to 15 this past month. So multifamily properties still remain pretty appealing to investors in the MatSu Valley. Now, last but not least, the average sold price for multifamily properties went from about $463,000 to about $487,000. So that's, pretty nice little increase from what we've seen the year before. Not bad at all. We just want to see more of that kind of moving forward because we do expect to see the rental increases go up, continue to go up really for the MatSu Valley, because that's really kind of an area we've seen the rents go up at a faster rate, because we have seen so many people just being done with Anchorage and jettisoning and just moving over to the MatSu Valley, which historically lower cost of living, as you can see in the average sold price. It seems high, and wow, it's like gone up so much faster, but it's still well below what the average market value property is in Anchorage, and you still get more for it out in the MatSu Valley. So that's what we're seeing on the multifamily stuff. You can certainly find great deals out there. The big thing is just to make sure that you actually do your math and you understand what a good property is going to look like to you. Just because it's a multifamily property doesn't mean it's a good deal. Okay, so let's get rid of that notion right now, and let's also get rid of the notion that getting something is better than just not getting anything at all, whether it's a good deal or not. No, absolutely not. If you're going off of that advice, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. So yeah, that's multifamily market update. If you have questions on it, make sure you reach out to me. Now, secondly, what we're seeing on the residential side is that we're starting to see more and more options becoming available, which is a good sign. That's a sign that we're slowly starting to go back to being kind of where we were a couple of years ago, which is more or less a balanced market. This is still very strongly a seller's market. I'm not seeing that drastically changing anytime soon, because really when we're looking at the heat of the market that we're in, it's really about supply and demand. I know a lot of people were trying to draw parallels from the collapse back in 2008, 2009, and it's not there. It is not there. The dynamics couldn't be any more different. The crash that happened back then was because there wasn't enough, there was too much inventory, and now we don't have enough. So the dynamics couldn't be more different. I do expect to see, though, the rate at which we're increasing is going to start going down. Okay, so instead of going up double digits every year, it's going to drop down to a lower percentage increase for the average sold price year over date, which, that's probably good long term. We don't want to be going as hot and fast as it's been the past couple of years. This has been an anomaly. It's been a wild ride, but it's time to start reeling it in just a little bit, and the market's going to start doing that for us. Not much going on in the condo market. Average sold price is going up. That probably has more to do with probably some new construction condos that are being built. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been useful for you. If it has, again, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.